This quote changed everything for me, both personally and professionally. And today, I'd like to share it with you on episode 164 of the Client by Client podcast. Let's hop in and let's get this going. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, I handed you the 3 keys, the 3 steps you must take to be getting a minimum of 3 clients every single month. And whether you're one of my students or you're in any worthy mentorship or online coaching program that's helping you to achieve your business goals, when you apply these 3 steps, everything gets streamlined, it gets far more simple, and it gets far more easy for you to be landing clients consistently. In fact, when you get this right, 3 is a very low goal and a bare minimum. And it's really the key to be getting a minimum of 3 to 5 clients a month. And then when you get that right, it really becomes the key to getting 3 to 5 clients every single week. I'm gonna pause real quick because my software is looking a little laggy here for some weird reason. Stand by. Let's see, so we can make sure we get the recording right. See if I can free up some resources, even though I shouldn't have to, and have it in the past a little better. I guess we'll find out together. So be sure to backtrack 1 episode so you can understand the 3 things you must do to get a minimum of 3 clients every single month, and then turn that into a minimum of 3 clients every single week. In today's episode, I'd like to share with you a quote, a mindset, a way of being that changed everything for me at a young age, both personally and professionally, how I carry that in my business, and what this means for you in your business and in your life as well. The quote that was shared with me was from one of my most respected people in my life, my high school advisor, Mr. Ross Rector. And what he shared with us and with me was this little quote that if it's gonna be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And at the time, and why this was so relevant for me, to give you some backstory, why this was, I can't speak for the other students in the program and in the class that I was in, which was graphics, it was t-shirt design and print, and then it was a leadership program on top of that called Skills USA. And Skills USA, unlike Student Council, unlike the other organizations on campus, it wasn't well funded. It was kind of, in our school, it was kind of scrappy. We were the ones heading it up. He was trying to lead charge for us, but through a bureaucracy of the high school, of the school district, and it was really hard for us as trade students to be masters of bringing in the money and the resources and fundraising. And it was also really hard for us in the organization of running almost like a miniature business in printing these t-shirts and taking these orders and doing these things that we did in the t-shirt design and print class and in our graphics club. And so there was a lot of responsibilities, and they can't all fall on the teacher. They can't all fall on mom and dad. And it was up to us as students who felt like we had 0 power in the world, like we could make no impact or no change. It took a whole different way of looking at life in order for us to realize what we could impact and what we might be able to control and might be able to move the needle on. And so, if you've ever been in a student club, or if you've ever had an accountability system in any school project you're working on where there's 3 or 4 people, there's always like one person who kind of ends up taking the charge and takes the full weight on their shoulders, and everyone else who kind of doesn't. And then there might be one other person who kind of feels bad closer to the due date of that project, and so they kind of start pitching in, and there's another student who kind of feels guilty for not doing anything, so at the last second they try to do a whole bunch. But in reality, it was like the one person who was really carrying the weight the whole time. And that's a really hard dynamic in any situation. And for us in this club, we had aspirations. We wanted to have local officers. They were called regional officers. And so Arizona was broken down into 6 regions. We wanted to have regional officers there. We wanted to have a voice. And then we wanted to have state officers. That meant we could have a president in our region, just that's one spot, and then run for a slate of 5 open positions. And we also had ambitions of having a national officer. We got our first national officer when I was a sophomore. And my teacher looked at me when she was running and being elected, and looked at me and for whatever reason says, I think you're going to be a national officer too, at a time where I didn't see that much in me and I didn't even know what national officer meant. But it wasn't going to happen because he pushed me every single day and reminded me of my greatness or what he saw within me, because that didn't happen either. And it wasn't going to happen by other students rallying behind me, because this was not their vision in me. It wasn't my vision in me at the time. But slowly but surely it became my goal and it became my vision. And I saw someone do it. And I saw someone that I could walk in their footsteps. And I saw the possibilities. And if it was going to happen, it was going to be because of my willingness to show up and my willingness to do the work. That if it was going to be, it was up to me. So that's a little background on where this whole entire episode today came from, to share that with you. Now let's talk about what this means in your business. In your business, you are the boss, you are the founder, you are the head honcho. And whether or not you are fully developed in your business acumen and your ability to create a vision and to create a strategy and to follow through on it, no matter what level you're at in that game, no one's going to show up every single day and shake you out of bed and say you're great and say this is your day to go and get things done. And so what this means is you have to create an accountability, a willingness inside of you, a hardness inside of you to be able to push through in those days where it's a little cold, but your bed is really warm, and where no one's really watching you or counting on for you to show up and do your minute-long story or to create a piece of content or to follow up, but to actually still show up and do those things and to do them with the best of your ability and to the highest of your knowledge and within the best energy. When you getting clients and you start to crank them out, you have people that you got to show up for. And even still then, it's easy to show up for that phone call, for that hour-long mentorship, or for that group call once a week, and then not do much the rest of the time when no one else is watching and when no one else has to keep you accountable. And the only person left is the one that's standing in the mirror. It's you. And you can also avoid a lot in your day and experience a lot of resistance and still have a moment where you do that right thing at the right time that makes everything else easier or unnecessary and have an extremely accomplished day. So don't let me get on my high horse and say you got to be showing up 8 to 12 hours and you got to be hustling hard. For some of you, that is 100% the case. And for all of us, that is the case at one point in time or another. But the more you grow your business acumen, your ability to create a vision, a strategy, and to build that hardness of accountability inside of you, this is what it takes to follow through on the quote of, and the thought process of, and the mindset of, if it's going to be, it's up to me. No one is going to come down and save you from your own resistance, from your own lack of accountability and lack of responsibility of actually getting the things done on a daily basis to move the needle every week, every month, and every year, to be able to look back after the end of the decade and be proud on what you've done in the 10 years prior, on the 20 years prior, on the 50 years prior. No one else is responsible for your success besides you. And it's really easy to get 3 clients a month like we talked about in yesterday's episode and go home with, $5,500 to $8,500 a month and be cool, because that's pretty much what you were making in your day job before taxes and maybe a little more. And to be totally happy and comfortable with that. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's the level you want to play at and the level you want to be at. But I think that for the majority of you, that's just the starting point for where you actually want to be, because it's also not enough to get to that level and just stay there. If you're not growing, you're slowing. And slowing equals death when it comes to an online business and when it comes to capitalism and entrepreneurship. So in your business, no one is going to come and shake you out of bed, shake you out of your rut, shake you out of any misery you might be experiencing in any moment. And that, for all of us, happens at different degrees, myself included. But if your success is going to happen, and if clients are going to sign up in this eternity, in this year, in this month, in this week, in this 24-hour period, today, it's going to be because you made a decision to show up, to do the work, and to play full out. If it's going to be, it's up to me. This mindset, this ideal, this way of living, this way of existing has the chance to transform every area and every facet of your life, should you follow through and execute on it? Should you decide during or after this episode or at some point in time after consuming today's message that whether it's a relationship you desire, a personal goal, a financial goal, a business goal, a health goal, no one is going to have your best interests in mind the way you have your best interests in mind. And no one is waking up today saying, how can they make your life even better? And the few people that ever will for even a moment are the people that you should cherish and are the people that are counting on you to be that person for others and to show up and to play full out and to become and exist as the highest and best version of yourself for as long as you can possibly maintain. And then when you get off that horse or you fall off, to dust yourself off, to get up and to start doing it again. If it's gonna be, it's up to me. If you are to succeed, if you are to follow through on any of these visions and these desires, on these longings that are within your heart, it is 100% up to you to show up. It is 100% up to you to follow through. It's 100% up to you to be accountable. And there are far too many people to count who will be impacted by that result, who will, and their life be changed because of what you decided and how you internalize this quote. Now, my high school advisor, Mr. Rector, looked at me one day. I was a freshman or a sophomore, and he said, Jeremy, you're going to be a national officer one day. And at the time, I kind of felt like the class clown. I didn't feel like I had a glimmer of college in me. That became true. That was an inkling that became true. I really didn't feel like I felt like I was destined for something great, but I didn't know what that thing was. I saw something in me, and my mom saw something in me, and my dad saw something in me. Some other people along my life kind of saw something in me. But on that day, my advisor looked at me and says, you're going to be a Skills USA national officer one day. And I said, yeah, I am. And then I said, what's a national officer? But by the end of my junior year, when his vision became my goal, and it became what I was going to do, and I was practicing every single day, my speeches, my acumen, my handshakes, my eye contact, my leadership skills, on not just making my vision come true, but on trying to push this little graphic design, small makeshift business that we had at Chandler High School a reality. And to be able to bring more students with us every single event that was held locally, regionally, statewide, and even nationally. And it wasn't just the result of my hard work that made all of those things come true, because we had many other people who played at a very high level along the way for different amounts of time. But by the end of that, we had another Skills USA national officer. We had the national high school president. We had a dozen students going to the national competition, 30 plus students going to state, and a hell of a lot of students going to the local and regional competitions and leadership opportunities. But in all of that, none of it could have happened if each individual student and my teacher did not hold this quote of, it's going to be, it's up to me. And I promise you, my friend, on the other side of these earbuds, on the other side of the speaker, on the other side of this video right now, wherever you're getting this, your success comes down to your willingness to show up, to follow through, and to hold yourself accountable. If it's gonna be, it's up to me. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to talk about the most common objections you're going to get along the way to booking more sales calls and how to overcome them so that you can help more people and make more money. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you get clients consistently. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, your email inbox, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn Mail, where you're losing leads in the cracks and you're leaving a lot of clients and money on the table every single week and month? That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and turn leads and prospects into paying clients and case studies has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community, which I'll tell you about here in a second. To download your free copy now, all you have to do is find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online business owners. I've got entrepreneurs from all over the world, authors, experts, speakers, consultants, coaches, and service providers, all implementing my strategies for starting and growing an online business and getting clients consistently. Join us in the Leverage Coach community where all ships rise in a high tide. To get your free invitation now, just find me over on Instagram and drop me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. Every month, I get a couple coaches, authors, and experts together to implement my plans and strategies into your online business to inject a minimum of $15K worth of new clients to start, or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused business owner who always puts the clients ahead of the money. You've been working with clients or growing your online business for at least 6 months to a year. You would like to get a minimum of 3 to 5 clients every week or month on social media organically without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or Facebook group. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. That's you. Want you to grab your phone right now, give that Instagram app a tap, do a little search, find me at WhatUpJeremy if we're not connected already. Give me a follow, binge on some reels while you're there, and then message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the program, my proven track record for helping authors, experts, coaches, and consultants to get clients quickly and to get clients consistently. And we'll also identify together what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business the soonest. That way you know what to expect and plan for. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. All right, guys, hope you found that super helpful. If it did, drop an insight. If you're on LinkedIn, share this with your connections. I think they'll be glad that you did. Or drop what stood out to you most. Facebook Watch, do the same. Drop me a like or a reaction, maybe a little care emoji that's hugging the heart, make me feel special. And then be sure to just leave the biggest insight that you had from this below, or maybe an emoji or something like that in the comments. That helps just get this out to more people. If you are on YouTube, then be sure to hit subscribe and that notification bell so you can be clued into all of the episodes of this show. You can also find the latest episode of the podcast right here, along with more episodes so that you can get all of them and get them while you're on your walk or doing whatever it is that you do in your off time. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow. No episode on Thursday for Thanksgiving. And then we're back again on Friday to round it out. See you guys then as Siri goes off in the background. Cheers.